Hello world, Bella Storm here again, and oh my gosh, there has been so much happen since I recorded that last video, my first video last week. So, amazing things have taken place, and one thing that came up that I want to share with you was how on Saturday morning I went to pick up this necklace. For whatever reason, I'd gotten it out last week, and as I went to pick it up Saturday morning, and my thought was initially, I ought to, this is some cheapy little necklace. I don't really wear it that often. Ought to give it away. But when I went to pick it up, and I had the necklace in my hand like that, all of a sudden I got this jolt, and this voice said, "Land of the free, home of the brave." And I was like, doesn't seem like that much anymore, does it? I know you know what I'm talking about. I love how one of my coaches put it, Melissa Crawford. She said, we are in bondage from our negative thinking. And that struck a chord with me, because based off what I shared in my last video, those last little pieces, those last little bits of negative thinking that I was holding on to, once I did that, I felt free. When I talked about cheating myself, what I meant was I hadn't been honest with myself. I hadn't trusted myself because of what had happened that day. I wasn't honest with myself about, was this the right time of month to do this? And didn't listen to that little voice. I didn't trust that inner voice, that higher self, the intuition that was saying, you shouldn't be doing this. And because I wasn't honest with myself and hadn't trusted myself, I began this, got caught up in that negative emotion that I've been carrying with me. And then the rejection and the judgment. Again, those things, once I looked at why I felt rejected, I had rejected myself because of what I'd done. It was like, you rejected all these principles that you'd grown up with, all these values that you'd grown up with. I mean, that day I was crowned Honored Queen of Job's Daughters, and what all that stood for, and then that afternoon to turn 180 degrees and reject some of that, that's what created so many different things, although it led me on this amazing path. But it was a lesson that I needed to learn. All of these things are gifts. It's a lesson that we need to learn. And then going from rejection to embracing who I am, all of me, all the parts of me, and love and self-acceptance. Instead of judging, being accepting. And then learning patience, having patience. It took patience to get through this process. And once I've done that and broke the bondage of those last chains of negative thinking, like I showed you on my shirt last time, it had that handcuff broken open. And once I broke out of that, the truth will set you free. That's what that means. The truth will set you free. So when we face the truth, which we think is going to be so big and scary, and we are fearful of it, fear. I love how Mike Dooley says, fear is failure to experience actual reality. And what we think of as so big and scary really isn't. One of my clients shared with me this perfect analogy. It was like, there's a 2x4, it's laying on the ground. Walk across it. Okay. Like a balance beam, you walk across it, right? But then, if you were to put that 13 stories in the air, if you were to move it up 33 stories in the air, 62 stories in the air, whatever it is, if you were to raise that up higher, would you still walk across it? And most people are like, well, hell no, I'm not going to walk across it. Well, what's the difference? You walked across it down here when it was on the ground. What's the difference? I'm like, oh, it's in the air. Well, guess what? That's what a lot of this that's going on is just an illusion. The negative thinking is an illusion that that you're holding on to. Like I was holding on to that rejection. It was me holding on to it. It wasn't anybody else. The judgment, like I said, I was judging myself. I didn't need God or anyone else to. I was. So I'm the one that's creating this illusion instead of facing actual reality. So once you start experiencing actual reality, you have broken free from those bonds. The truth will set you free. It was interesting too on Saturday after, picking this up. I was talking with, again, Melissa, reading some of her book, From Good to Great. And in it, when she was talking about how in our pursuit of our life's dreams, we've become enslaved. And I was like, yes, that's what I was just thinking earlier, how this land of the free, home of the brave, that's kind of phooey nowadays, right? And so I wrote, home of the free, land of the brave. And after I wrote it, I was like, wait a minute, that's transposed. But there are no accidents. Everything's for a reason and purpose. And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what that means. Home of the free, land of the brave. When we step up, when we become brave, step up, face our fears, and step into our power. And the ultimate power is love. And you love yourself. That's when we break those bonds of negative thinking and we start living our dreams. We start dancing with life. I said too how the angels and the divine creator and the angels, they have such a sense of humor. After recording that video, my first video for you, starting to embrace life, to start to have fun again, to be playful and fun. The angels have been doing that with me. Like we're in sync now. And you wouldn't believe the playlist they created for me. I had the digital music channel on Saturday morning. It was like one song after another. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was taking pictures and I was taking little videos, and maybe at some point I'll get those all pieced together and share those with you too on Bella Storm Creates YouTube channel. So anyway, that's what I want to share with you today. Start digging deep within yourself, finding out what is holding you in bondage, what negative thinking are you holding on to, and let's start breaking those bonds so that you can live in the home of the free because you are brave. Take care.